Друзья, всем привет! Канал «Английский простым языком» на связи. Меня зовут Никита. Буквально совсем недавно в своем телеграм-канале я кинул небольшой опрос на предмет того, какое следующее место вы бы выбрали для того, чтобы в нем провести опрос также на английском языке. Там было МГИМО, МГУ, Москва-Сити, и большинство из вас, что в телеграме, что на ютубе, проголосовали за МГИМО. Я сейчас нахожусь прямо у главного корпуса этого здания. Здесь сейчас есть много студентов, и мы сейчас будем их спрашивать сразу на английском языке. Знаете, честно скажу, у меня такое чувство, как будто я пришел к, знаете, Николаю Дроздову спрашивать его про биологию, про животных. Ну, может, конечно, я сомневаюсь, но мы сейчас с вами проверим, действительно, насколько хорошо студенты, которые здесь учатся. И, кстати, многие из вас писали, что здесь есть много мажоров. Ну вот, мы сейчас посмотрим, насколько хорошо они знают английский язык. Все, берем с вами микрофон и поехали. Я очень сильно надеюсь, что меня отсюда вообще не выгонят. Hi, excuse me, do you speak English? Would you mind answering a couple of questions in English? Does anybody speak English? Does anybody?
She good.
No. Which language is this? Chinese?
Chinese.
No, I've been to China, but I don't speak Chinese. What's your English level?
I think that B1.
I would say fluent.
B1.
B1.
B1, yes.
You know, is it hard to study here?
Yes, it's hard.
Hello, guys, excuse me, do you speak English? Would you mind answering just a couple of questions? I have a YouTube channel, I'm an English teacher. Just some interesting questions, how to learn English, maybe some mistakes. What's your level?
I'm not sure, maybe something between B2 and C1.
Well,
like
B2
that.
and C1. So is it hard to study here in this university?
Well, yes, it is. It's really hard.
So how many languages do you speak?
I'm studying Italian, so I can speak Italian a bit, and I used to study Spanish, but I cannot speak it fluently, just a couple of words.
English?
Yeah, of course,
I
yeah.
think B2, maybe.
Okay, how many languages do you know?
I know English, Portuguese, and Estonian and Russian.
And do you study them here?
Yeah.
We don't have the proper
B1,
certification
B2.
for.
I'm a tutor.
You're a tutor.
Yes.
So, and do you study here?
Yes.
Is
In
it
third year?
Well, it's a third year, so is it difficult to study here?
Well, from time to time, but I would say that sometimes it is.
Do you like this place, by the way?
We love it
So much.
We love studying here.
I mean, really, is it hard to study here?
Quite, yeah. The languages are pretty hard.
Well, so do you study here, for free, or is it expensive?
No.
Is it expensive to study here?
Yes, it is.
It is quite expensive.
It's like 300,000 or
More.
5 more.
It
Two
depends
times,
on the.
two times more.
It
Two
depends
times more,
on what you're studying.
600,000 rubles.
About
more.
700.
More. How often do you practice English outside this university? Maybe you have some partners to speak, maybe watch YouTube videos.
Honestly, I do watch English and American TV series, films with subtitles. I underline some new words and I learn them. That's the way I practice outside, because I do not have time to attend classes.
You do not have a tutor, you do not have some speaking clubs or whatever.
Unfortunately, I don't.
No, but you speak pretty well, really. So, and
Thank you.
Sometimes I communicate with some Englishmen.
Englishman here or just outside, or maybe you work?
Yeah.
Every day.
I usually watch films in English. I also try to communicate with speakers, for example, using Tandem. It's a very widespread app for talking to native speakers, and I think that's it.
Outside the university, sometimes I speak with native speakers. For example, my friend Don, he is from Africa, Madagascar. He is a very clever guy.
My younger sister is from the United States and she speaks only English. That's why I speak English.
Okay, but for example,
And I'll also study here.
what about watching YouTube videos? Maybe you read some books in English?
No, last time not. Last time I read books only in Portuguese and in Russian, but I used to watch some videos in English actually about themes that I'm interested in.
By watching
Very
films.
rarely.
No,
I
we don't
only
practice
watch
it, we just
videos.
watch
in
like
English.
videos like TikTok and stuff.
TikTok and maybe Europe. So how many hours here do you study English?
I'm
One and a half
Spanish
hour a
and
day.
I'm
1.5. And how many languages do you know apart from Russian and English?
One?
One. Which one? Spanish or
No. Guess.
Italian?
No.
Chinese?
No.
Holy crap! Which one?
It's next to.
Russia.
Yeah.
So which one?
Between Russia and Middle East.
Middle East.
Middle East?
between
Middle
Russia
East.
and Middle
I'm terrible at geography. I don't know.
Armenia.
What's the biggest mistake which people make?
In English.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I think, for example, in my situation, I don't practice it a lot because I switched to another languages, for example, to Portuguese. That's why my English worsened a little bit. That's my biggest mistake, because we mustn't quit learning English and practicing it.
I think that sometimes people stop practice English, and if you don't practice your vocabulary, you can't speak even more.
Okay, let's check your grammar a little bit. So what's the
No,
what's
very hard question.
Oh, no.
by my friend.
Used to and to be used to something.
I used to live that. It means that I lived, but now I don't.
Confusing the way you speak in the street and the way you speak academically and politically and professionally. It's two different languages, and you should not mix up the vocabulary you're using outside the university and the one you would use at work or professionally.
The main mistake is to see a difficulty when studying a language, because there are no difficulties. A new language is a new world full of new logic, full of, learning a language is the way to understand how the others
Culture,
think.
maybe
Yeah,
people's, maybe they think in the way they think, yeah.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
Okay, for example, what about delaying or postponing your time when you start speaking? Because there are lots of people who start learning grammar, even watch something, but they do not speak. When you start speaking, you realize that you cannot speak whatsoever.
I do agree. I think the best way to actually learn the language is start to speak this language. But right now it's very hard because you have no native speakers near you. You should never be scared of talking to other people.
What's the best way to learn English right now in 2025?
Well, I suppose the best way is to find some textbook that has a strict program just to learn English, and then it will give you a way to collect some vocabulary, some set of words, and then you will become able to watch some series, films, and you will understand the language and collect new vocabulary, new grammar. And the most important thing that you will be able to speak it fluently.
Embrace English language in your everyday life, meaning music, movies, literature, and after that process you can start sharing and practicing this with people in your surroundings, meaning that you're gonna speak about what you have learned, heard, etc. with people around you who also speak English, and you should practice it every day in order to be absolutely fluent, I guess. You should live in an English-speaking country, but it's not given to everyone to just move to another country in one day, start a new life somewhere else. That's why it should be the best option, but it's not given to everyone to do that. So you need to find other alternatives, I know.
It's important to learn grammar and vocabulary, so don't hesitate to do it. And
Okay, don't hesitate to learn.
it's important to don't forget to do it, I guess. And sometimes for me it's comfortable to use some online resources, for example, Quizlet and so.
Okay, Quizlet, yeah.
Yeah.
So what about Duolingo, for example? You know this
Yes,
app?
I like it. Yes.
You like this?
Yes, I have 50 days, but
What does it mean, 50 days? Is it a
so
pretty big number?
every day, yes, for me, of course. So
What's the point of you using Duolingo if you study here?
just to practice.
In my opinion, the best way to practice your English is to speak with native speakers.
Okay, but what about having somebody correcting your mistakes?
Sometimes my friends tell me about my mistakes when I speak with them. So I think that they are better than tutors.
I think that you better start with the basics, like some manuals, and then when you reach A2 maybe level, by reading some manuals, you have to start watching some videos on YouTube, watching films, watching series. Actually, series, the best way is films and series, because I used to watch series that I also had watched in Russian before, then I watched them in English. I met some familiar phrases and familiar words and translated in my head them from Russian to English. I think the best way. And also books.
Everyone here speaks as perfectly as you are here?
I'm not sure, but I think yes.
I mean,
Watch
just
videos.
and
Watch
watch
videos
movies,
in
Listen
English.
to music.
enroll in to this university.
Wait.
Take up as many languages as you can, because you can take up to like 100 languages here.
I guess in 2025 the best way to learn English is by watching films and by communicating with native speakers. I guess this is the best way.
Have you ever been to an English-speaking country before?
Yeah, of course. I have visited United States and other countries where I communicated in English.
No.
Unfortunately, I haven't been. I've been to almost all European countries, but not English speaking.
Have you ever been to an English-speaking country before? America, Canada, or what?
Yes, we love traveling, and we love visiting new countries and practicing our languages.
Well, so especially if you have money, probably it's something that you like.
No, I have never been to England or America, but when I travel with my parents, for example, in Europe, I practice English.
I've once been to England.
What's the difference between this grammar used to and to be used to something?
You mean I'm used to something? And
I'm used to doing something or something or I used to do something.
I'm used to doing something means that it's familiar for me. I know this thing. For example, I'm used to speaking English. I know English and I speak it usually. And I used to, for example, learn Italian when I was 9 years. That means I did something in the past, but I quit to do.
To be used to something
Yeah.
is like something that is привык.
I used to live, so I lived there.
You can say in Russian what it means.
Да, это как какая-то привычка.
Absolutely right, yeah. Быть привыкшим.
I used to practice German when I was at school, but I don't do this anymore. And I'm used to waking up early to go to the university.
I used to live here as if you've lived there, but not living right now.
I was
And I'm
used to, или I am used to, it's a habit.
I'm sorry, who are you? What is this channel? Where are you from? And
I'm an English teacher, I'm from Russia.
do you have like the
Говорю по-русски.
Right? А можно, подождите, не вырезайте это. Для справочки. Мы первый курс, мы уже год не практиковали наш английский, мы вдвоем. Она учит арабский.
Я арабский учу.
Да.
Так звук
Мы все забыли.
Понижать, кошмар, там просто будет вот так вот. What's the difference if I say I have little time and I have a little time or money?
I have a little time, it means that you still have some, and you can use it. When you have little time or little money, it means you have almost none.
A little money means that you don't have little money, you have some money, and it's okay for buying something. And little money means that you don't have much money. It's like antonymous for much. And a few is antonymous for many, for countable and not countable.
A little money. I'm not sure really because last time I saw this construction was quite long ago.
One is saying that you have a small amount of money, I have few money, and the other one is you're talking that you have a specific amount, I have a few money for something. It doesn't mean that it's a small amount, but it's a specific amount for a purpose or for use.
I don't know how to explain. How explain?
I have little money, I have a little money.
I guess one of those is
A few
less
is like
than the other
several.
one. Like a little.
I have a few friends.
Да, a few, по-моему.
Is like several, and few
Okay.
is little.
Девки, помогайте. Недостаток. Звонок другу.
Can you repeat the question?
What's the difference between a few and few? A little and a little.
So right now we're on our first grade, so
So
and we don't practice English right now. We practice Chinese 5 times a
5
week.
times a week.
Yes.
Is it hard to learn Chinese here?
Very hard, so I think I will go to another language group because Chinese is very hard.
Огурец.
Cucumber.
Great, so absolutely right. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
And where are you from?
Из России? Ребята, вот видите, как все очень по-разному. Кто-то говорит, что плохо говорю, кто-то даже не понимает. На самом деле все нормально. What's the difference between must and have to?
Must is something that is
Have to is like inner obligation, I think. Like I have to do it, and must is a rule.
Have to is I don't know how to explain. Maybe more polite form, and must is something that prohibited or you must do. So it's 100% that you should do this.
Both are something it has to be done. Really similar. That's the problem. So and I understand that it's not from your question. And
Okay, yeah.
I must learn and I have to learn. What would be the difference? For me, it both seems the same.
I must do something is my, if I'm not mistaken, is my personal attitude.
Obligation,
towards the
maybe
thing.
obligation. Your internal personal
Yeah, my
obligation.
internal, and when I have to is when something makes me do that.
I think must is more like a command or our piece of advice. I mean, you must study better. That's like a command, and oh my God, I really like Italy. You must visit it. It's my very strong advice. And have to means I think it's not as serious as must.
Can you give me an example sentence of second and third conditional sentences? If I would.
If I were a pilot, I would be able to travel to any country in the world.
Great. Was it the second or third conditional?
It was the second one.
Second. Can you give me an example of third conditional sentence?
If I would have been to Qatar 3 years ago, I would have visited the matches of the World Cup.
Not if I would have been, if I had been.
If I had
That's
been,
perfect.
yeah.
If I would do a master, I would do it at МГИМО, for example.
Is this a test?
If I were you, I would have done it.
If I were you, I would be more careful, or if I had known it before, I wouldn't have done this mistake.
If I would have a chance, yes, something like that.
If I had.
Yes,
You
if
should
I
start
had
with
a
past
chance,
simple, yeah.
Yes, if I had a chance, I would go to cinema.
If I would you,
No.
oh, sorry. If I was you,
If I were.
If I were you, sorry. If I were you, I don't know. I would go to Spain. If I spoke Spanish, I would go to Spain. If I had learned German, now I would have spoke it very good.
Absolutely right. So, and can you...
We also have mixed conditional.
Yeah, mixed conditional, yeah. Okay, can you give me an example? By the way, how many mixed conditional sentences do we have in English?
2.
Two, absolutely right. It's like combination of second, third,
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Can you give me an example sentence of past perfect?
I had done something, yes.
Past perfect?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Just give me a second. I had gone to the university.
Can you give me an example sentence of past perfect?
Past perfect. Before I entered MGIMO, I had studied at school.
I went. No.
I had done it before,
Yeah, before I
I
had
enrolled
done it,
to the university.
Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.
Just enjoy this day. I guess it wasn't hard for you, this gift for
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for participating. This one for you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.
This one for you. Have a great
you very
day.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Я в шоке от того, здесь конверсия людей, которые говорят 100% сейчас. Я и в этом
У меня
и фишка.
тройка по английскому.
Это тройка.
У меня низкая тройка.
Ребят, вот я сейчас вырезать это не буду. Вот то, что сейчас... как тебя зовут?
Кирилл.
Кирилл. Вот то, что сейчас Кирилл говорил, это тройка. Вы вообще как, адекватные?
Низенькая тройка.
Это...
У нас типа 100-бальная система, вот у меня 68 за экзамен.
Не, ну это нет. Ну, скорее всего, просто это какая-то, наверное, грамматика, потому что, как ты говоришь, это нет, это не тройка,
Ну, у
нет.
нас ОПП, типа общественно-политический перевод.
Ну, это специфика, типа специфика.
Ну,
Если
да.
тебе говорить по general English, это не тройка. Просто люди так, типа, вот тройка, если ты думаешь, что у тебя действительно 3, и ты потом паришься, нет, это не 3. Здесь, скорее всего, требование прям такое, что, типа, здесь, чтобы 5 получить, надо вообще, не знаю, там, чуть ли вот не вот, ну, прям такое.
Так и есть.
А в чем смысл такой, вот для чего?
Но на самом деле здесь очень хорошо понимается грамматика и лексика, но она специфична.
А что значит специфическая грамматика?
Ну, по топикам, то есть у нас, словно говоря,
Грамматика,
сейчас
не, грамматика-то она везде одинаковая, может быть лексика, словарный запас.
И лексика, но в целом и грамматика, она потом переходит на уровень C1, C2 и включает в себя там номинализацию, другие лексические явления, пунктуация, да, тоже большое значение выделяется пунктуация.
Политические статьи ориентир, мне кажется.
Ну вот ОПП то, что я сказал.
Да.
Слушайте,
по
вот
модулям еще лексика. То есть,
дополнительные-
словно говоря, ну вот сейчас там у нас были СМИ, лексика, ну вот там такая лексика, то есть polarization, biased SME.
классно. У вас вот формат занятия, я могу предположить, что, наверное, как одно из проходит, что вам задают, допустим, на дом какую-то статью, допустим, или что-то. И есть такой процесс обсуждения, потом дискуссии.
Summary.
Типа вот
надо
вы сидите,
сделать,
ну,
да.
summary, то есть вы ее прям обсуждаете, дискутируете,
У нас есть
перебиваете.
reading part,
Вот это.
и там он включает различные вопросы. Во-первых, нужно выявить тезис и тему этой статьи. После этого, ну, у нас есть разные форматы. Это и ответы на вопросы, и рассуждения, и составление майнд-карт. Довольно-таки разнообразно.
А никто никогда не думал по поводу там сдачи IELTS и так далее, вот вообще?
На самом деле это популярно, и, к сожалению...
Многие...
Ну, здесь
сейчас у нас
отправляют
нет.
кого-нибудь там в Казахстан, еще куда-нибудь сдавать?
Нет,
или-
это по собственной
Да,
инициативе.
самостоятельно.
Но у нас многие знакомые друзья сдавали IELTS.
Здесь есть подготовка к IELTS.
Да, подготовка.
Есть,
курсы.
типа, хоть как бы в России
Дополнительно.
центры закрыты, но типа она
Но
есть.
подготовка к самому экзамену есть, потому что да, многие ездят там в Баку, в Стамбул.
Ну нет
в
такого, что
Алматы
якобы экзамен
сдавали.
враждебных стран там и такого типа.
Нет, у нас есть Гёте экзамен, есть Дельф, есть СЛП-Брас.
А у вас нету такого загона по поводу вот использовать там, если сказали что-нибудь американское слово, не британское, вас там по языку бьют, ну типа.
Нет.
Просто в школах многих есть такое.
Просто нужно соблюдать стиль, условно говоря. Если ты используешь американские слова, то ты везде типа IZE пиши, типа а не ISE. Ну я не знаю, я просто все пишу на американском варианте, поэтому у меня такого не
Да,
было.
нас просят не смешивать оба варианта.
не смешивать.
Это типа требование, это занижает балл.
Но это странно довольно-таки, когда у тебя одно
Но это на всех языках. Вот,
написание.
я понимаю.
То есть это вот как на португальском мне тоже говорят. То есть вот ты выбрал бразильский вариант, не надо вставлять и иберийский вариант. То есть, ну это на всех языках, где есть разные диалекты, просят такое.
Я понял. Наверное, в последний момент я просто уточню. А здесь есть какие-то люди, которые прям вот с английским вот до свидания, даже 4-й курс, как-то выжили здесь 4 года, и английский прям здравствуйте.
Ну такого, наверное, вряд ли. Но есть люди, которые поступают без знания английского, но это обычно
или,
ребята...
Может быть, они проходят просто за бабки, типа здесь, ну типа которые,
у них начинающие группы, наверное. Есть же у нас
У нас есть начинающие
Да,
Курсы, которые платные, наверное, есть такая у вас история?
Не, бесплатные, просто группа начинающего языка.
Они
Ну, вот,
до этого
условно
не
говоря,
изучали.
ребята учили там немецкий в школе или испанский, да, из Сервантеса.
То есть у вас
и
нормально,
вот.
если в ВУЗ приходит, допустим, со школы там французско-немецкого, полный ноль, его учат все равно.
Не, ну просто если никакой язык ты не учил, то нет смысла приходить. А вот если ты просто учил другой язык, то ты и вступительный. У нас же вступительное по языку.
Ну что, друзья, на сегодня это будет все. Что я могу сказать? Здесь из всех, кого я опрашивал, говорило 100% человек. Как выяснилось, английский здесь есть у всех абсолютно. У кого-то он есть, там, начиная со 2-го курса, но здесь не было ни одного человека, который не говорил на английском языке. Видите, вот по сравнению, если брать, допустим, обычные места, говорит примерно там 10% людей. Здесь говорят все, ну, по крайней мере, ту выборку, которую я сделал. Я старался выбирать там все и компании, и девушки, и мальчики, и так далее. Вот, поэтому на сегодня это будет все. Я надеюсь, что вам сегодняшнее видео понравилось. Также, конечно же, вам, друзья, напоминаю, что вся необходимая информация находится в описании к этому видео. Ссылка на сборник по фильмам и сериалам для прокачки вашего английского слуха, и также ссылка для записи на индивидуальное обучение. Если бы вы хотели вместе со мной, помимо английского слуха, прокачивать вашу английскую речь и в целом весь английский язык целиком, включая грамматику, изучение новых слов и, конечно же, практику, отработку этого всего в вашей речи со мной. Не забывайте подписываться на данный YouTube канал, ставить ваши лайки, и увидимся с вами, друзья, в нашем следующем видео. Пока!